Behind me is the small town of Sineu, the town where I live. The concept of the 15 minutes neighborhood was popularized largely through the work of urbanist Carlos Moreno and has been adopted as a framework in major metropolises such as Paris. But the underlying idea is not new. It draws on classical urban planning traditions. A 15-minute neighborhood is a planning model where residents can access most of their daily needs, I mean, work, housing, food, health, education, culture, etc., within a 15 minutes walk or cycle from their home. Um, it promotes sustainable living, reducing car dependency, improving air quality, and fostering local community interaction. I'm surrounded by nature and heritage. The question I ask myself is, are small villages like this themselves 15 minutes neighborhoods? This activity is framed within the assessment tasks for the university micro-credential in development, sustainability, and environmental policies in island territories.
The COVID-19 pandemic accelerated the desire to live in small, functional villages and neighborhoods, close to nature and valuing the more social side. The C40 Cities Climate Leadership Group, a group of cities from around the world that unite to reduce carbon emissions and adapt to climate change, has adopted the 15-minute neighborhood urban planning model to improve the planet and the well-being of its citizens. Some of the small municipalities in central Mallorca grew in population because everyone wanted to live close to nature and in a more relaxed, collaborative social environment where everything was more accessible. However, not all of them met the minimum requirements, which is why some grew more and others grew less. Sineu is a small municipality with just under 5,000 inhabitants, but for historical and geographical reasons it serves as a kind of small capital for the surrounding municipalities in the Pla de Mallorca region. Sineu has a small health centre attended by primary care patients from the neighbouring villages. It also has the secondary school for the entire comarca, as well as a primary school and a nursery school. In short, children can continue their studies in Sineu until it's time to go to university. It also has a sports centre, a centre for cultural and social activities, a public library, a care home for the elderly, an association for older people. In the private sector, there is currently a variety of businesses and establishments, a veterinary clinic, 2 pharmacies, 4 grocery shops, several clothes shops, 4 car repair garages, 7 or 8 gyms, a Chinese bazaar, hairdressers, chemists, hardware shops, stationery shops, banks, insurance offices, and so on. On the outskirts, for the past 3 or 4 decades there has been a small industrial estate for carpenters, mechanical workshops, etc. It is a municipality known for its gastronomy and its historical heritage, and its economy is based on the tertiary sector. It once had nearly 40 bars and restaurants, has 7 or 8 hotels and tourist establishments, and a very famous weekly market. And, most importantly of all, transport. It is the center of a radial network of roads, at the heart of a triangle formed by the 3 most populous municipalities in Mallorca, Palma, Inca, and Manacor. And it has a rail connection via a line that links these 3 major municipalities.
So, does Sineu meet the 15 minutes neighborhood rules?
Miguel has used Google Earth to work out, roughly, the maximum distances in Sineu. How far is it from one end to the other? From north to south, it's just under a kilometre. From east to west, it's about 1.5 kilometers. Miguel will walk the length of the village, from Bar Michelakes in the west to the Agramart fruit and veg shop in the east. He'll be walking with his dog owner, so you can get an idea of his pace.
I'm here now and I'm going to the other side of the village. Now I am at the other side of the town.
It took Miguel less than 12 minutes to walk from one end of the village to the other. Obviously, an elderly person or a child would take longer, but surely no more than 20 or 30 minutes.
Therefore, we can conclude there is no essential public service nor any commercial or leisure establishment too far from any home. The question, however, is, are all the essential basic services present? Are all the requirements for a well-being economy met?
Sineu, like most small, rural municipalities, has a very close connection with nature. This is undeniable. It has a very strong focus on education, as children do not have to leave the municipality until they go to university. The health center covers basic needs and, for more serious matters, Sineu has a train service and good connections to travel to Inca, where the hospital for the central municipalities is located. In fact, having a train service is another major advantage. It reduces reliance on the car and provides connections to workplaces in Palma, the university via train and metro, and shopping centers and public administration offices in Manacor, Inca, or Palma. It has nearby shops and services sufficient for day-to-day needs, but they are lacking when something more specialized is required. Older people and people with disabilities have basic services in the village, a care home for the elderly, the Mater Occupational Center, etc. Now comes the weakest point, the economy. The primary sector was the main one 4 or 5 decades ago. Nowadays Sineu already has an economic fabric more based on the tertiary sector, rural tourism, gastronomy. Construction also had its heyday a few years ago, and there are still some artisans. But, as in all the municipalities of the Pla de Mallorca, a large proportion of residents work outside the town. In conclusion, Sineu is probably one of the towns in Mallorca that comes closest to the 15-minute model. To be fully so, it's not the services available that are lacking, but the economy. In any case, there's little more the municipality can do. The power of a town council like Sineu's is very limited, and it depends heavily on supramunicipal funding.
Sineu is a non-profit organization established on 2024, born from the Safe and Healthy School Environment project at our local school. Its mission is to promote an active mobility model on foot and by bike, with a maximum speed of 20 km per hour and pedestrian priority in our safe routes at least.
He is one of the promoters of the project he was just explaining to us. This association reached an agreement with the town council to calm traffic on some streets and create routes that are friendly to pedestrians and cyclists. Initiatives like this help to make Sineu a 15-minute town. And so, it is a fitting way to bring this essay to a close.